You do not rise to the level of your goals, y'all. You rise to the level of what your nervous system feels safe sustaining. I want to say that again. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of what your nervous system feels safe sustaining. And if it does not feel safe sustaining it, it will do what it did to me and it will burn the house down. Welcome back, you guys. All right, you know my intention at all times in this space is to be a guide, right? I want to be someone who helps you come back to your own internal knowing, your internal truth, your own internal power. And if with your permission, I would love to expose some secrets, some lessons I've learned to hopefully help you on your own path of alignment in your life. And today I want to talk about one of the secrets that, dang, I wish I knew sooner, because it's one of the pieces that has been our support system the entire time. Listen, I believe that we were given a beautiful body. We were dropped down on this planet. God, in its infinite wisdom, was like, I'm not going to leave you alone to just like figure it out on the planet. I'm going to give you this beautiful vessel, this body to be in, but also in that body, if you'll listen to it, it will guide you. It will tell you where to go. It will tell you when something's wrong. It will tell you when something's right. You can lean in and listen to it. And I want to expose today how to tune into the supernatural system that you have had inside your body this entire time. And if you can learn to work with it, it is the secret to having all of your desires, to living out the life that you want. And I don't know about you, but I have had so many times, I want you to feel into this. Like, how many of you have felt this before where you're like, I know what to do. Like, I've done all the mindset work. I've read the books. I've purchased the courses. I've been to the retreats. I've had the breakthroughs. I've set the goals. And yet you find yourself repeating patterns. You're like, I keep finding myself back in this same relationship or in this same pattern with money or this same dynamic, same amount of money in my bank account, right? Or you make more money and then you find that you lose it. Or you want to be visible, but you find yourself holding yourself back from being seen. Or you want to be a more peaceful mother, but you're finding yourself reacting all the time. And you're wanting change, but you keep defaulting back to this old version of you used to have been. And there might be a part of you that's saying, like, what is wrong with me? Right? But I want to tell you, what if nothing is wrong with you? What if I told you the thing that's been blocking you is not your mindset? It's not you needing to be more clear on what you desire. It's that you have this internal system called the nervous system that's just been trying to keep you safe. And I want to say this in the beginning, you are not broken. There's nothing that needs to be fixed about you in order to get what you want. And you're patterned. You have learned programming. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is to protect you. Right? And so until you learn the language of the nervous system, which I want to talk about today, your body is going to keep running those programmed survival patterns. Even when your soul knows and is begging you, is calling you to lead in a new and bigger way, you will keep fixing yourself, trying to fix yourself at the level of thought. And instead of working with the system that is actually in control here, and that's the nervous system. Now, before I talk about the nervous system, I want to talk about something because I know I have a lot of different women who are listening here, and you may be at different levels of understanding around the nervous system. And I want to invite anybody who thinks they know about the nervous system, I'm going to invite you to come with a beginner's mindset today, because there's always something new to learn. And there's a difference between understanding something intellectually and embodying it powerfully in your life. So I want you to imagine that you've got these like layers to your body, okay? The first level of hearing anything is on the knowing level. You know it, you understand it, right? Then you're like, okay, I intellectually get this. Then in order for it to become more real to you, you have to experience it. You have to take that information and go into an experiential field with it. After you've experienced it enough, you can move into integrating it into who you are and into your life. That means it becomes a part of your essence. You're integrating it into the other parts of your life. And the fourth layer is embodying it. It's where you just wake up and you are it. You be it, right? And so even if you've heard the nervous system before, I'm just going to invite you to say, can I take this to another level today? Can I learn about this and take it deeper into embodiment, right? Okay. So the nervous system, let's break it down very, very simply. By the way, this is going to be part 1 in multiple parts because I have a lot to say around this and you have a lot to learn around this if you want to lead in this new era we're walking into. So the nervous system is your body's internal safety system. You have this beautiful body that was given a nervous system that takes in information around it all the time. This is why as a baby, you didn't know what your parents were saying. You didn't understand words yet. And yet you took in everything energetically from a nervous system standpoint, right? This is why when a baby is born, they put the baby straight on the mother's chest so it can connect nervous systems so they can regulate with each other. That is not just like something made up. It's something that brings safety to the baby and to the mother, creates a bond. There is this invisible system that has been working with you since the minute you were born. And this system has been scanning your every environment every single day, all the time, and asking one question: am I safe or not? And based on your answer, right, it determines how you feel, how you think, how you behave, and ultimately what you create in your life. And here's something that most of us don't understand. Like, we go to change our lives and we try to do it consciously, which is good. It's a part of it. But only 5% of your mind is the conscious brain. Your conscious brain is your thoughts, right? It's the thoughts you can even see or catch or think. It's your goals. It's your intentions. But 95% of who you are is subconscious. It's programming. And the subconscious does not speak to you in thoughts and words. It speaks through the body, through sensation and emotion and contraction and openness, right? So if you're trying to change your life by thinking alone, you're only working with 5% of the system. No wonder it's been so freaking hard, right? And this is why so many of us feel stuck between what we want and being able to really touch it and keep it in our reality. So let's talk about this nervous system. There's 2 branches to it, okay? There's 2 sides of the nervous system. There's a survival side and there's a safety system, okay? The survival part of your nervous system is called the sympathetic. And this part of your nervous system is designed to keep you alive. So it scans quickly for danger. And then as soon as it senses it, it reacts quickly, right? This is where you'll step into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? And the key here to understand about the sympathetic nervous system is the nervous system does not know the difference between a real threat and just emotional discomfort or just being judged online by people you don't really care about, or raising your prices or speaking your truth. All of it feels like danger. And so back in the day where we were being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, right? Our entire system would say, shut down everything. We need all of our energy to get out of here, to fight, to flight, to freeze, to fawn. But our body in this modern day doesn't know that we're safe, right? And so it shuts down. And it immediately says, oh, I know you want that vision of $1 million business, or I know you want that vision of being a really peaceful mommy, or I know you want that vision of blank, right? But this doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel familiar. Now there's the other side of your nervous system, which is called the parasympathetic. And the parasympathetic is your safety system. And this is the part of your body that when you are safe, healing can happen. This is where you can access creativity. This is where your intuition lives, leadership lives, right? When your body feels safe, I mean, even just as I'm talking about it, I can't help but go into that. Your breath slows, your body softens, your mind becomes clear. And most importantly, you gain access to the higher parts of your brain and the higher parts of who you are. And this blew my mind. This blew my mind. I want to tell you a quick story. I remember when everything was kind of crashing down, kind of falling apart, and I was at my retreat in 2023. And I remember saying to my friends, I feel like God has left me. Like I can't hear my intuition anymore. I can't feel the presence of God anymore. My body was in such a survival state. It had shut off the ability to even sense all the guidance and information. Like God didn't leave me. I just couldn't access him anymore, right? Your higher decisions, your creativity, that inspired post you have, it can't even come into you when your body is in a state of stress like that, right? So when we are in survival mode, it feels like we've lost access to all of that for good, but it's just temporarily out of access because of the way that our body is in that moment, right? But when we can connect, when our body is safe, we can see clearly, we can make aligned decisions, we can regulate our emotions, we can trust ourselves, we can lead our own life. We cannot lead, capital L lead. We cannot lead ourselves or other people from a state of survival mode without there being some destruction. We can only react from a survival state. So I want to talk about why we keep repeating these patterns, right? When you look at your life, I bet I could ask you to look at different departments of your life and you could tell me what patterns you repeat. You're like, I keep cycling through this behavior when it comes to love. I keep cycling through this behavior when it comes to starting an online business. I keep cycling through this reaction, right? When it comes to parenting. You have probably learned or read or something, you know what to do. But your body right now is so programmed to override that 5% conscious brain, and it chooses survival over expansion. So your nervous system is always going to choose what is familiar over what is possible. Let me say that again. Your nervous system is always going to choose what is familiar over what is possible. It's why those limitless possibilities that you sometimes feel like you can tap into can't reach you because you haven't learned how to work with the nervous system to let those new possibilities become safe, to become familiar. Right? And so even if what is familiar, right? You're like, I'm living in a familiar hell right now. Your body doesn't care. It's like, well, this stress, this limited thinking, this no money, this like reactionary dance I do with my husband in arguments, like at least we know what to do here. It's comfortable, meaning it's familiar, right? So let's talk about how you might see yourself in some of these 4 major states when it comes to the nervous system and how it's showing up when you're in your survival state. So there's fight. I want you to feel into your life. Like, are there any areas in your life that you feel like you show up in fight? Reactionary, controlling, irritated, angry, frustrated. You're in a fight energy. Then there's flight. Flight looks like anxiety or overworking or avoidance or constantly doing so you don't have to be with the discomfort of something. You're trying to get out of that discomforting feeling. Then there's freeze. Freeze looks like shutting down. Procrastination. You're like, I know what to do. It's time to post. And you go, I don't have anything to say. Oh my gosh, it's gone. It's like empty. I don't know where it went. You feel stuck. Or how about fawn? Fawn is people pleasing. It's wanting to belong to the crowd. It's overgiving. It's losing yourself. And most women are cycling through these states all day long, thinking it's their personality, when really it's just protection. Can we just pause there for a second? I want you to consider something. What if your whole personality is just a pattern? If we could get beyond those patterns, you might be able to find out who you really are. Like, how incredible. And so the real shift here is not just becoming what's called regulated. Okay. I'm using air quotes, regulation. Regulation is not just about feeling calm. It's about gaining access to the version of you who knows what to do, getting access to the part of you that can guide you, that internal guidance system that I talked about in the beginning that can say, "Ooh, go this way. Oh, it's time for you to take this leap. Ooh, you're worth more money. Oh, have that hard conversation. It's going to change your life," right? Because the life you want, more money, more visibility, deeper relationships, leadership, it requires that your nervous system feel safe holding it. You do not rise to the level of your goals, y'all. You rise to the level of what your nervous system feels safe sustaining. I want to say that again. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of what your nervous system feels safe sustaining. And if it does not feel safe sustaining it, it will do what it did to me and it will burn the house down. Right? So I want to take you into an experience with it because I don't want this to be just something you understand right at that knowing level. I want it to be something you experience. Let's go into that second level. And I want you to feel this. So I want to invite you to do something with me right now. And if you're able, I'm going to invite you to place one hand over your heart, closing your eyes if you can, taking a slow breath in through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, inhaling through your nose. Nice long exhale. I want you to allow your shoulders to drop, noticing the rising and falling of your chest and stomach, just witnessing your body. Even what you're doing right now is signaling to your nervous system that you are safe. I am safe. I'm so safe, I can relax here in this moment. And when your body feels safe, everything changes. You can access the higher parts of you. Now I want you to ask yourself this question. What do I need right now? And pause and just notice for what comes up, not from your mind, but from your body. What do I need right now? And then the next question I want you to ask yourself, how can I give myself this today? You guys, it's from presence. You know, I teach presence. I literally lead retreats on presence. And one of the things, in order for us to hear the voice of God, in order for us to hear our intuition, in order for us to receive vision, you have to have a safe nervous system. This is where you access, this is where all your truth lives, is in this moment of presence. And most people skip this step and they go straight from stimulus into reaction. But this pause, it's called the conscious pause. This is what separates reactive living from conscious leadership. This one little rep. And here's what's most empowering about all of this is your nervous system is not fixed, right? The patterns that you drove in, you can drive out. You can rewire. It can change through emotion, through repetition, through imagination, and through new experiences. Every time you pause instead of reacting, every time you root into the present moment, you are literally rewiring your system and you're building a new baseline, a new regulated experience, a new capacity, and a new identity. And these moments may not seem like they're much, but they are. You know, when I think back through, what I've been learning over the last few years, and I just kept exploring, where did I lose it? Where did I go off track? Where did I go wrong? It was all the little moments where I was not tuned in to the system that has been guiding me. And that's the nervous system. I wasn't slowing down long enough to let my body feel safe before making big decisions or finding the right inner guidance, right? I wasn't allowing my body to know it could expand its capacity as more and more money came to me, as more and more responsibility came to me. Those things were patterned threats for me. And so I kept repeating and did repeat burnout twice. right? I needed a body that would feel safe holding the life that I wanted. I needed a body that would feel safe expanding into the leader I really wanted to be. And so the woman who can regulate her nervous system is a woman who can lead in times like this, right? A regulated woman, right? Even just hopefully you can still feel what it feels like to pause and be still and be stable and be rooted. She responds instead of reacts. She trusts herself instead of outsourcing her power. She can hold more money without collapsing. She can stay present in relationships even when they go through challenge. She can speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. She can stay, right? And this isn't just about your life, y'all. This is about the kind of leaders we need moving forward, because a regulated, steady, rooted woman, man, have you ever seen those kind of women walk in a room and you're like, whoa, who is she? She didn't even need to say a word. Her presence, her confidence, her sense of security, her inner stability said everything. We need at this moment in time women who are not operating from fear, reactivity, or survival, because there's a lot going on. We need women who can come from presence, who can come from personal truth, who can stand in embodied power, right? This isn't just how you create the life and the money and the relationships you want, but it's also about how you become the kind of woman who helps heal the world. And so I wanted to open this conversation, right? This is going to be a part of a series I'm going to do. We're going to keep going deeper because I've learned a lot and I have a lot to say. And we're going to talk about money. And we're going to talk about how your nervous system determines your financial capacity. We're going to talk about expansion and why your body will only let you receive what it feels safe holding, and the ways that your nervous system at a dysregulated state, right? How it affects what's going on in the world. Because the world right now wants you to be dysregulated from a bigger agenda. If you're overwhelmed and if you're too taxed out and if you're too exhausted and if you're too overstimulated, you won't show up as the powerful woman you are. And I want you to rise. I want you to stand. I want you to be rooted. And if this resonated, this is exactly why I created a program called Rooted. It's a 21-day nervous system reset, right? This is a reset. It is so light. It is so beautiful. It is so experiential. The breakthroughs, you guys, I'm currently doing it at the time of this recording. I can't keep the chat quiet because there are so many breakthroughs going on for these women who are experiencing, sensing, knowing, understanding their body and nervous system. They're getting so much guidance. It's crazy. And they're feeling so capable for the big lives that they actually want to call in. So I invite you to check out Rooted, and I invite you to keep staying tuned to all the episodes. Again, I want to keep you tuned in to the guidance system you've always been given so we can understand how to not just claim the life that we want, but how to move past what's been in the way and step into creating it as our future. I love you guys. Thanks for being with me today. And if this episode excited you, please share it with someone else. Love you guys.